We got the job here 4 years ago, had an opportunity to interview with Steve Bisciotti. I would say the greatest leader I've ever met in my life. And we talked about hiring coaches and everything. And we talked about fights and things like that. And if you want to win a fight, what do you do? I mean, if you're going to be in a big fight, whatever the fight is, it's not going to be a fist fight, life fight. What do you do? What's the first thing you do? You be prepared, that's right. And part of that is you go get the best fighters. That's right. Go get the best people. He said, how are you going to hire your staff? I said, well, my dad always said this. He said, there's 3 things you look for. First thing is character. All right? Who are these people? Number 1. The second thing is teachers. They got to be great teachers. Coaches are teachers. If they can't teach, they can't get their message across no matter how much they know. And third is expertise. They got to know what they're doing. It's not like expertise isn't important. It's not like they don't have to know how to build the house. All right? They got to be able to do a great job. They have to know what they're doing. But that's the order, okay? Great people, number 1, right? All right? Great teachers, because the coaches are going to be teachers. It's what the players do. It's not what the coach knows, it's what the player knows. And then lastly, they absolutely have to know what they're doing. But that's the order of what we're looking for. The deal breaker, and we talk about personnel a little bit, and Jack's learning this along with some of the other scouts. There's a deal breaker in everything. So when we're out there and we're evaluating guys, it might be quarterbacks, it might be wide receivers, it might be linebackers. To me, nobody has everything. Has anybody been blessed with everything in life? Nobody gets, what's that? Ray Lewis. Even Ray Lewis doesn't have everything, I don't think. I'm not sure what he doesn't have yet. Now you may have got me on that one. As a linebacker, he probably did have everything, okay? But there's certain things you just can't live without. If it's a wide receiver, all right, now they can be big, you love them big. They can be fast, you love them fast. They got to be able to separate, they got to be able to get off press. Those are all very important. But what do you think for a wide receiver would be the one thing that is the absolute deal breaker that they have to have? Hands, thank you. It's not complicated, is it? Anybody can do this. If they can't catch, they can't play receiver. All right, for a linebacker. Big, athletic, good feet, okay, be able to sift through traffic, sideline to sideline player, be able to cover receivers out of the backfield. That's all very important, but what's the number 1 thing for a linebacker? Well, you would say tackling. That's part of it. I think tackling probably is, that's probably one of them. But the thing I would say is he's got to be able to take on a lead play. He's got to be able or willing to take on a lead play. What's a lead play? That's Vontae Leach coming right at you with Ray Rice right behind him. All right, when that happens and you're thinking, okay, I'm a linebacker now, do you go this way or do you step up and have a collision? All right? If a linebacker won't do that, if he won't step up and take on a lead play, then he's not a linebacker. The deal breaker for people in our organization is humble heart. That's the deal breaker. You know it when you see it. A person either has a humble heart or they do not have a humble heart. There's a passage in the Bible that says, see if I can get this right, God exalts those who humble themselves and humbles those who exalt themselves. All right? That's pretty good. I think, as we put this thing together, I'm thinking I'd rather have the people that God's going to exalt in the next couple of years as opposed to the people that God's going to humble in the next couple of years. I'd rather have those guys, all right? Because the guys that don't have a humble heart, the guys that put themselves first, the guys that are thinking about what they're going to be doing after practice or after the game, the guys that are going to be thinking about going in the wrong direction, those guys in the end are going to break your heart. And we don't want heartbreakers, okay? It's like the old Pat Benatar song. We found a couple of these guys in the draft, haven't we, Jack? Heartbreaker, dream taker, don't mess around with me, right? You guys know that song? I'm not known for my singing, as you can tell. But that's a good song, okay? There's a good message there. We're not taking any heartbreakers, any dream takers, all right? We want people that are humble, hardworking, good guys. That's the bottom line. Back when I was like 10 years old, we're at the my dad's coaching at the University of Iowa, and they used to get home real late at night, work past midnight most of the time. But I heard my mom and dad talking one time. He's talking about one of his fellow coaches. Great guy, great family. We used to go over to the house all the time for barbecues. This guy was a brilliant guy, okay? But he didn't always make great decisions. And he was talking to my mom, and he was saying, when we drive home at 12 o'clock from the office, I'm right behind this coach. His name was Steve. I'm right behind Steve. And we drive up to the stop sign, and I know Steve's house is down there to the right. But Steve always goes left at the stop sign. His house is right, he's going left, all right? Something's not right here, all right? And then Steve ended up, he ended up not making it in coaching. He got out. He was a great coach, brilliant guy, but he just kind of out of it. Lost his wife, lost his family, lost jobs, couldn't keep jobs, all those kind of things. And now he's wondering whatever happened. Because when he came to that crossroad, what did he do? He took a left when he was supposed to take a right. And that's something we talk to our team about and our coaches about. Man, take the right, all right? You're going to have choices to make in life. There's going to be decisions you got to make. Make the right decision, all right? And if you take a left, if you make a mistake, you come late to a meeting, all right, you do something worse, make it right. How do you make it right? Well, you fess up to it. One way we do it, like say Ray Lewis comes late to a meeting. There's Ray Lewis. He does come late every now and then, believe it or not. All right, we have a make it right system. It has to do with money. All right, guys got to pay fines. It's not a bounty. I want to make that very clear. It's a discipline system, okay? The proceeds go to charity. But what they do is they bring money. So if Ray walks into that meeting 1 minute late, he's got his money. It's $250 for the first one, then it escalates from there pretty fast. They make a lot of money too, a lot of these guys. So you got to make it hurt, right? So he just walks in, he hands his $250, and he sits down. And he might be late one time a year. And that's what a leader does. In front of the whole team, he's modeling for the younger guys, make it right. You're going to make mistakes, okay? You're going to show up late. You're going to miss something. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to sit there as a coach like most guys in the league do and say, you don't care. It's not important to you. What's wrong with you? Why can't you get here on time? Make it right. Correct it. You're okay. You're a good person. You have a good heart. You're coming from a good place. You want to do good, all right? Let's make it right and let's move on. So you got good people. You want to help them be. You want to help them be as good as they can possibly be. You try to grow them. That's what our owner does a great job of. To me, he finds good people and he grows them and makes them better. Makes them as good as they can. Sets a hugely high standard and then expects you to live up to it and helps you do it through respect, mutual respect, and communication. All right. My wife and I, Ingrid, went to Moorhead, Kentucky. All right. We got an apartment for the first time. We were making $16,000 a year, and we were living huge. First paying job I ever had, fifth year in the profession. Secondary coach, strength and conditioning coach, recruiting coordinator. Moorhead State University in eastern Kentucky in the foothills, the Appalachian Mountains, all right? And we got an apartment, our first apartment. It was in the industrial section. So we had an apartment, and there were like all these businesses all around us, okay? 2-bedroom apartment. It was our own place for the first time. There were a couple of issues, you know. The walls were real thin. The guy next to us had a serious coughing problem. I mean, he coughed constantly, all the time he coughed. And then we were right next to a Hardee's next door. And our window was basically right across from the drive-through window. So, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, up until 2 o'clock in the morning, that's when they close. I promise you, I know. 2 o'clock in the morning is when Hardee's closed in Moorhead, Kentucky. Can I help you? Yeah, I'd like to get some couple cheeseburgers and a curly fry and a chocolate milkshake. Will that be all? Yeah. Next one, can I help you? Okay, all night long. But it was our place. First day, get up, go to work. Ingrid's taking classes. She calls me about 10 in the morning. We have a problem. Yeah, what's the matter? We have mice. We have mice? Yes, mice. How do you know? I'm looking at one right now. Why are you whispering? I don't want him to hear me. He might attack me. Yeah. Is it just one mouse? I don't know how to. He's acting like he owns the place, though. I think he thinks we need to leave, okay? Not a problem. It's just mice. I'd never seen a mice. I didn't know what mice could do. I didn't know how many there were. I didn't know they lived in your walls. I didn't know they could get flat. Did you know mice could get flat? Everybody here knows this. They get flat. And they go under and between things. They can get anywhere, right? I thought they had bones. How do you flatten out bones? You can tell it's got to be a problem. I get 4 or 5 traps from the dollar store. I bring them home, okay? That night, set the traps around doors and things like that. I'm thinking we're going to take care of this mouse. There's probably a couple more. We'll get them at some point in time. What do you put in there? Cheese, right? We got a saying with our players, okay? Get the cheese out of your pockets. What do you think that means? It's about communication. See, they all do the same thing. When I said that to them, they looked at me like, what are you talking about, okay? And I say, cheese. Mice eat cheese. Are you a man or are you a mouse? Get the cheese out of your pockets, okay? Don't be a little mouse running around the corners, standing on book bags, looking at innocent women. You know, whispering to one another about who's going to get their piece of cheese. Speak up. You got a problem? Talk about it. You got an issue? You want the ball more? Tell me about it. And I'll tell you to go talk to Joe, okay? Joe is in charge of that. He's supposed to throw you the ball more or whatever, you know? Don't be a man, not a mouse. So we put cheese in our trap. I put cheese in the trap. Things are going to be fine. Lay down, go to sleep, turn off the lights. What do you think happened? Like that. I'm like, oh my God. So I get up, turn on the lights. There are mice in there with their necks snapped, okay? They're dead, okay? They're caught. So got 5 traps. I got some gloves on, picked up the trap, pulled out the mice, threw the mouse away, put a new piece of cheese on, set all the traps back in their spots, went to bed, laid down, turned off the light. What? Go back out. There's 5 more mice in those traps. Do that a couple times, then I say, and then it's getting to be old hat. You know, it's like, okay, cool. The mice can wait till the morning in those traps. I'm all right. Got the traps, grabbed all 5 traps, and just threw them away. That's what you're making. I should have known that. You don't touch the mouse. You touch the trap, okay? Went to the dollar store and got an industrial-sized bag of mouse traps. Went to the grocery store and got a lot of cheese, okay? We got a problem. We got a fight on our hands, and we are going to win this fight. Set traps everywhere. Couple nights, you know, I'm going to tell you what, we filled up a garbage bag maybe with mice and traps and whatever else. Finally, after a few days, there's maybe 1 or none, and those traps, there's no more mice. All right, and I learned a valuable lesson there about communication and respect, looking back on it, okay? One of 2 things happened. Either we killed all the mice and they were all dead, which is one way to win a fight, okay? We got them all. For the whole apartment building, we got every mouse in the place, and everybody was happy. We got them all, which is possible because it was like 50, 100 mice that we got. Or the mice started communicating. They got smart. They started communicating with one another, right? Stay out of that apartment. Those traps will kill you. You need to respect the mouse trap, all right? Communication and respect, okay? The mice figured it out. We didn't kill any more mice. We were okay. It's like the early bird, right? The early bird gets the worm. Is that true? You want to be first? But the second mouse gets the cheese. So you got to be smart if you're a mouse. All right. So really the message about communication is this, and we talked to our guys about this. And this is kind of interesting and kind of good. And a little bit of this comes from Steve, and a little bit of this comes from experience, but you try to bring in great people, right? And they have a good heart, and you talk to them, and you treat them with respect, and it's mutual respect. And you know, with football players, you got to demand a little respect too, in all honesty. It's not like you walk in there and put your arm around them and say, hey, you know, you're great, and things are going to be good, and what can I do to help you? They'll take advantage of that like that, all right? So there's got to be a little bit of hard love. There's a discipline that goes with it. It's a tough sport and all those kind of things. So it's a mutual respect, and you got to treat each other well, but you got to have people fundamentally who are good people. And so what we'll say is, when we're talking with one another, and there's going to be hard communication sometime, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be difficult, and we're going to miss kicks, and we're going to drop passes, we're going to make plays, and we're going to win, and we're going to lose, and we're going to have to push ourselves through practice, and you're going to get ticked off about it, and you're not going to want to practice for another hour, and you're going to be screaming at me, and I'll probably be screaming right back at you. Derek Mason comes to mind, which is great. Derek's a great guy. And he'll tell you, we had a lot of these conversations back and forth. In the end, you build a mutual respect for one another. It's an honest communication because we're both coming from a good place. We both have a good heart, all right? We both are good people, and we fundamentally care about one another. Sean Landetta told me, I asked him, the punter from Towson. You know Sean? Sean, I said, what's the most important thing in a coach you're looking for? The most important thing is that the coach cares about me, that the coach has got my back, that he's in my corner, that he wants to see me do well. That's what matters the most, all right? If you feel like the coach has got your back and he wants to see you do well, then you'll do anything for the coach. And the same thing, I guarantee a coach feels the same way about a player. Just like a boss and an employee and a president and people you work with. If he's got my back, if he's going to look out for me, even if I make a mistake, I'll do anything for that person, okay? So if you're a leader, you got to remember that. You better have somebody's back. They better know, and you got to care. How do they know you care? You can't fool them. You better care. We've all got these antennae, and we're in a conversation with one another, right? Are you really listening to what the person says? like what the message, the correction, the lesson is, as much as you're sensing where they're coming from, right? Who they are as a person. What do you think about me? What's your facial expression? What's the tone of your voice? Am I sensing some ambiguity here? Are you talking out of both sides of your mouth? Are you really out for yourself? All right? Am I going to be the first one that's going to go? What is this really all about? All right? So, if you don't care, you will be sniffed out like that. So you better decide that you're going to care about your people, right? And then maybe you got a chance that your people will care about you and care about the business and all that other stuff. That's what we talk about.
Now, Junior Bobs, what do we tell our clients to do to get the best price for their home?
Hire a good negotiator.
That's right. It takes a skilled and experienced negotiator like me to make the best deal. Now, what else is very important?
Own the best home on the block.
Absolutely. And we'll stage their home to give it the wow factor. In fact, our team of remodelers will fix it up, get it ready to sell, and our sellers don't pay anything until settlement. And what do we say, Junior Bobs?
I'm Bob the